Okay, so starting from scratch, here we go. All right, thank you for joining us here at the Energy Work Mastermind with Ryan Conley. I tracked Ryan down after you guys were like, all right, there's this Healy device we're hearing about. We don't know how to get it. We're not sure where it's coming from, but we're hearing good things about it through the grapevine. And I'm like, how do I find anything about this? I went online. I think at that point, I don't even think maybe the English was the wrong one. Maybe it wasn't English wasn't even available. It was all German. And I'm like, well, this isn't helping me. And so I all of a sudden found myself on your Facebook page for
We're
Healy.
neighbors.
Yeah, and we're neighbors. We live in the same state here. We're like 4 hours apart, probably in drive distance, maybe in a good day. And I'm like, okay, I don't know how I got on this website or this Facebook page, but I think this is the guy that's like in charge of all this. So I reached out and said, hey, Ryan, I got a show. People are asking about your product. I don't know anything about it much, other than what I can find a little bit here and there. Come on and tell us all about what this new wearable frequency device does. He's wearing it right now, everybody, on his jacket there. I mean, you got to get like, what do those do? What is all of this? How does this work? Where did it come from? What does it do for people?
Well, Keith, first of all, it's excellent to be here today, and it truly is amazing times that we're living in right now, and just so much is happening right now. And so for Healy to come on the market and coming to the United States, and it's actually come available, it looks like about May 1st is going to be the opening for the USA launch. We're finally getting all of our FDA approval process stuff all taken care of. It will be deemed as, don't quote me on it, something like a class 2 medical device, I think is what this is going to be registered as. But I've personally been using the Healy now for about probably about 8 months. It has been so quite a few months, and over that time frame, I've turned it on to. We're currently open in about 42 different countries, so I've turned this on to different people around the world, and it's allowed me to connect with really cool people in the industry, such as yourself, who are into the natural healing modalities, instead of depending on big pharma to make a pill out there potentially that could have more side effects than you're going to go seek treatment for. So again, we're not here to make medical claims at all with any of this, but I will tell you about my personal experience, how Healy found me about 8 months ago. It's been now, and what I've seen and why I'm so excited about it. So my previous background, just a little bit about my background. I've been involved in the cryptocurrency space for the past 5 years before I found Healy. And obviously, once you go crypto, you don't go back. But so it was the people that brought me into the cryptocurrency space that were actually they were involved in Beamer. There's these pulsating electromagnetic frequencies, aka PEMF mats out there. Which they were going for about $6,000 to $7,000, these mats. Okay. And then you can see these mats actually range up to like $20,000. Right now, I'm actually using these frequencies. You can see this actually going through me. I can feel it as I'm talking to you right now. So it's very convenient. But these mats, on the other hand, were much more bulky. You couldn't just hop on an airplane or drive down the road with these and hauling this big old device around. But 5 years ago, I started using PEMF, the pulsating electromagnetic frequency, because these were the same people that brought me into cryptocurrency, and I trusted their opinion, and they're very, very successful, and they cared about people's health. And so I bought one of those, and I also got a King and Water machine, which obviously that deals with frequency of the water to an extent and stuff as well. And so that's when I became open-minded about the concept of the frequency technologies and questioning what exactly could it do for our health, implementing these frequencies. And, since then I've studied like Bruce Lipton, Joe Dispenza, Greg Braden's work. And these people it's interesting because these people are talking about frequency and they're motivational speakers. So they're talking about us raising our vibrational frequency. And that's those higher levels of frequency that potentially we can, we're like antennas and bringing good stuff that we're able to manifest. Has been my experience. I've had some really interesting experiences working with this technology. I think it's interesting when we're more on the same frequency, more on the same wavelength when we're also talking to other people. I think you have a phenomenal frequency about you. And So anyways, so going back 8 months ago, after doing being involved in blockchain and cryptocurrency, my friend ended up calling me from the Philippines, and he said to me, Ryan, I know that you're full-time involved in cryptocurrency, but he remembered that I had bought a frequency mat. I spent nearly $8,000 on this frequency mat back then, and I had it for the past, for about 4 years or so. And he goes, he told me that he had sold his $20,000 frequencies mats for this little $500 device right here. And so I was all ears, and I hadn't been really talked about frequency for quite some time and stuff like this. And I really hadn't used my PMF mat because it was so bulky, moving it up and stairs, downstairs, the living room, to my office, to my bedroom, wherever I wanted to have it be explained to me that this little technology device called Healy, that it was replacing his expensive his machine, his mats. So as he's telling me the story, I'm thinking to myself, well, this is really interesting. Just like a TV goes, you go from a black and white TV, it moves up to another thing, and then the prices drop. I'm like thinking in the back of my head, I better sell my other device here right away, like as soon as I get this call, because if he's selling his $20,000 mess, I should sell mine and get the money to get. Well, I had the money and just bought the device. So I did that simple switch over right there. And I finally it arrived, and this is about 8 months ago again, and I started using it. And just a little background about what I had gone through in my life. Alzheimer's runs in my family, and it's taken all of my grandparents away. And I also personally had been dealing with a early onset dementia situation myself. And I'm not sure exactly what caused this at all, but I was going to the Amen Clinic. If you're not familiar with amenclinics.com, that's amenclinics.com. You'll see that they have the most amount of brain scans in the world organized. And so what they do is, if you're bipolar, for example, they determine that, but they take the different scans and say, okay, well, that part of the brain's not working properly. We have thousands of people that have that issue. Or, someone has PTSD, they're able to take all these brain scans and clump them together and really kind of show the different parts of the brain that are underactive or overactive. So I started scanning with the Amen Clinic because I was worried about what I was experiencing. First of all, is like the anxieties, the depression that was kicking in due to what I was dealing with. And so I went and scanned myself. I've scanned myself 4 times now at the Amen Clinic. And these are basically about 3 years apart. So let's say 10 years ago to 7 years ago to, now, or however you want to look at, till about 8 months ago. And so at first it started off with this. I'll just do a quick little thing. Yeah. And this is the frontal temporal lobe. And I started getting these, they call it scalping of the brain, as this is really kind of bumpy. And you can see 3 years later that, sorry, this is cut off. I'm going to redo this. But the holes in the front, these are where the blood's not flowing properly and stuff. And you can see it got more bumpy 3 years later. 3 years later, again, I went again, and you can see it got even more terribly worse. At this point, they're telling me, early onset dementia, frontal temporal lobe dementia, and Alzheimer's is what the Amen Clinic was saying. So you can see after and then I was diagnosed with PTSD also, just things that happen in life. That's what they call this right here. But I went and did my brain scan 3 weeks after doing the Healy. And I'll rewind here in a second. But after doing Healy for 3 weeks, you can see how much smoother my brain scans got and how the holes started closing up, and it got a lot more smoother. The back of the brain, you can see, just really evened out and stuff. And so that's my testimony. I was just documenting this because I want to know if I'm improving with the stuff, the lifestyle changes I was doing. So anyways, I end up, so backtrack eight months ago, roughly, when I was experiencing the Healy, I noticed I was able to focus more. I noticed that my body felt like it went to like this reset, and I was now connecting with my children even more. I was feeling more in tune. People were commenting saying I was more social and stuff like this, and just like really more present. And so when I met with them, when I went back and met with the Amen Clinic,
yeah.
Can you hear me okay?
Go back when you went to the Amen Clinic, and then pick up from there.
There you go. Perfect. So I went back to the Amen Clinic, and I laminated all these things side by side over the years. And they told me that was the biggest improvement that they had ever seen, with the brain scans, especially in that short of a time.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, this is a big deal.
Yeah,
You know?
that is a big deal.
So then what happened was 2 weeks later, the Paul Allen Brain Institute, I live over here in Seattle, and they were having a 2-day symposium where there was 28 different brain studies going on. So like MIT, for example, came to give a presentation about the 40 hertz frequency and its effect actually reversing Alzheimer's, removing the amyloid plaques off the brain receptor sites. There was other people that are talking about PTSD and frequency being used to treat PTSD also. And I met with the top 3 people over at the Paul Allen Brain Institute here in Seattle, and they told me that was nothing short of a miracle that my brain scans had improved so much. So since then, I've connected the Paul Allen Brain Institute and the Amen Clinic to do some future stuff potentially together.
Wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know you'd connected those two together. Okay.
Yeah. So
I mean, that's amazing. So I mean, they're communicating about the results, right?
Yeah, we've had calls together. Like they all have their iPhones, so we're talking face to face. And I'm having one doctor vouch over at the Amen Clinic who's written books for the Amen. Amen himself has actually written things about. So they're high level people. It's a high level. It's a great outfit, and there just really seems to not be, Keith, a lot of research done so far with the frequencies and what it can have on brain health, other than this MIT study, for example, that we've seen recently.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, this is no wonder you're sold. I mean, you're like, okay, I always say experience is the thing that convinces anybody of whatever it is they need to be convinced of, and nobody can move you from it. You've got that experience, like, look, I know what I know. And I can see where you're like, okay, this is the thing. Okay, so let's backtrack and make sure we've got this summarized here in my mind correctly. So you find out you have early onset Alzheimer's.
Dementia. Yeah.
Dementia. Sorry. Yeah, we don't know Alzheimer's until an autopsy. True. So dementia. And then you're like, oh my gosh, you got friends in the Bitcoin world that go, hey man, you need to try this new device. You're like, well, man, that's a lot easier to move around with me than my Beamer.
Yeah, exactly.
And you try it out, and you, in a very short span of time, you actually have brain scan changes that are, I mean, obviously I've seen those when you and I've talked before. I've seen those in even more close up. I remember I could really see the difference in those scans.
Definitely.
And so here you are with a device you know is changing your brain, and you're going, how did you go from there to, I'm going to be the one to help bring this to the United States? How did you?
So when it came to me, after 2 months of using this, I was like, I need to share this with other people out there. And I really didn't know who to turn to, who was all involved in frequency at all. So I started at this time, a lot of the Bitcoin businesses got kind of complicated online and stuff like this. So I decided I see health as the first wealth. It's so important for us to have really good health. And if if everything in the world is just frequency, whether it's, this desk or whatever, it's just all these atoms are tied together. It's the gap between the atoms, right? Everything is frequency. And so it just really started moving into the hands. I started sharing with, for example, down in California, I got friends that are into alternative health, and all of a sudden it was just popping up into all these practitioners' hands down there, and a lot of people in Florida who were open to the Beamer technology and stuff. They fell in love with the concept, and so all of a sudden those networks started spreading out there as well. And I just felt really good about it because of the testimonials that people were sharing with me about it. And so since then, I've seen people, for example, people that have it's used for pain, for example, like the frequencies have to deal with pain. And I just kind of refer over this just as kind of like a general guideline of things.
One second, okay? Sure. Only because I've got somebody here saying that we're frozen. I didn't see this until now. Can someone please, before we continue forward, making sure, are we still frozen? Can Judy or Pamela tell us if we're frozen, or I think we have more than that. I just want to make sure before you continue this information that we definitely know that we're not now. Okay, continue, please. Sorry.
Okay, appreciate that. So it's interesting because this isn't from our company, but this is just a sheet that shows the spinal column. And from what I understand, the spinal column is like a musical instrument. Think about it like as a piano, for example. And different frequencies have a different effect on different parts of our spinal column, where the different energy channels or meridians, or and also the what do you call it, the nerves that go connect to our other parts of our body. So these different frequencies, as we're using them, and by the way, the Healy device has over 300,000 frequencies now, is in this little tiny device.
A lot.
That's a lot for a tiny little thing here. And this thing conveniently attaches, for example, let me show you something here. And it's got a frequency range of 0.1 hertz up to 1 million hertz is the frequency range on this. Okay. Wow. So previously, like a beamer mat would only have a range of like 1 to 10 hertz, and it would have maybe like 5 different frequencies or something like this. So this is really interesting. We have, these are the Healy, let me show this to you. This is right here is the Healy apps. So it goes on your smartphone.
Got it.
And so, for example, if I open up the app, you can see right now that I'm actually playing
Inner strength
system right here.
Got it.
And if you look at the very top, you can see it says like 25 minutes, and it looks like we're rocking at like a 6-digit hertz right there. Mm-hmm. So roughly that's 318,000 hertz. And what it'll do is it'll play that hertz for 10 seconds, and then it will switch to a different frequency right there. Okay. So this is just one of the many, if I back up, like this is just like a mental balance, different frequency things. But if I come into here and I hit this, for example, it has all these different, let me try to get the lighting proper here. Seems like, there we go. Okay. So you got like your pain, your learning ones, your frequencies for fitness, your sleep, your job. So this is the first time that we've ever had a frequency device. Let me show you something here. I'll get into meridians, for example, for the Chinese people, people that like Chinese, acupuncture, getting into the meridians, the bladder, the spleen, the, good gracious, joints to skin to heart, all these different things out there. And then we get into the chakra stuff. So I'm just kind of showing you a few different, we've got the chakras. And what I was talking about right here is I see the spine is because the chakras reside on the spine, right, Keith? Okay.
You can argue that they emanate from along the spinal cord. Yes, you can argue that, absolutely.
That's true. And then there you have chakras even above, right, and down below, and stuff. But it's interesting. I look at the chakras; they're different energy centers down the spine, so they tie into different areas. If we're treating those particular areas, it can have effect where those organs, I believe, connecting with the nerves and stuff like that, coming together. So as we're using the different frequencies, dealing with the different chakras, like for example, the other day, my root chakra was showing something like at 30%, and we actually have the ability with this with something called the Analyze app. This is crazy, where I can take a picture. What do you call it? Your aura picture. Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Okay. So I can come in here and take a picture of my aura, and it will analyze that, and it will say what frequencies that my body needs, and give me a full write up. Say, oh, hey, Ryan, your root chakra is low, or something like this. So you can then specifically implement those frequencies immediately right there from your smartphone. It beams it over here via Bluetooth, and then plays those frequencies.
Now, when people ask about like Bluetooth and exposure, you've told me, I'm asking this for everyone's benefit. It's a very brief Bluetooth exposure. Am I correct? Very, very short.
That's correct. So it takes probably about 5 to 10 seconds for the phone to transfer the frequencies over to the frequency program over to the device. And then you can turn your phone off if you want to, or walk away from your phone. It's not emitting any Bluetooth exposure at all from that point moving forward. Yeah.
So my big question always is, when I come across a product, how did it, Pamela asks, will it correct any 5G? Two things here. Let's make sure. One, let's go back to a couple of questions real fast. Pamela has two questions. One, should you wear it all day? And the second one is about 5G issues, and will it correct it? Is her question.
Okay. So that is the 5G thing. That seems to be a big concern right now with the 5G. And there's people even saying stuff about the coronavirus and the 5G being tight. There's a lot of stuff floating out there about how the 5G has an effect on oxygen and stuff, and right, all that stuff. So not to go down any rabbit holes too much, even though we all have our beliefs for sure, right? Okay. So these are the protection programs on here.
Yeah, we can do that.
And to answer your question about can you wear the Healy all day long? Okay. So if I come in here and I say I want electrosensitivity or cell phone protection right here, these are longer frequencies, so they'll play for like an hour and a half at a time, and you don't have to have. You can just disconnect this, like take this off, and put this into your pocket, and the thing will still emit the frequencies. You're not going to feel them pulsating through you, but what it's doing is it's creating like a bubble, of a frequency bubble around you, to change the frequencies instead of being. I think it has an impact. I haven't seen any kind of studies on that, but you can see the frequencies that it's playing for those different things out there. Whether it's here's even for planetary, where the planets are in alignment. There's one for planets on here. So I'm looking at the questions also right now, and then. They're asking about the price point of these also, correct? Okay.
Yeah, you mentioned the first one earlier, the bottom tier being 500, but beyond that, we don't know yet.
Right. So the device, there's 4 different levels of coming at the Healy, but you're acquiring, first of all, you're getting the hardware device. It's $500 no matter what level you come in at. Okay. So for $500, we have a whole program list of different frequency combinations. So for example, you get the gold cycle program when you come in for $500, and it's got like 6 different 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 different programs you're getting right there. But then what's cool about this also, for the $500, you're able to get an additional program specific to what you're looking to. Like, for example, if you wanted better sleep, we have a whole entire job and sleep thing down here, right here, that has all different kinds of sleep frequencies to it. So, job sleep, there's bed rest and balanced sleep and all these things. And I've seen people have phenomenal results with the sleep. But then there's $1,000 level, there's a $1,500 level, and there's $2,500 is the biggest package, which gets you this whole entire smorgasbord, this whole entire menu of frequencies right here. Okay. And that also gives you the ability with the Analyze program, which is separate, which allows you to analyze as many people as you want. It has like a huge database. So you pick the person, and then, whoever you're using it on, and then it will actually determine what frequencies that you instead of just shooting in the dark on what things you think you need. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So, yes.
So, go ahead. No, please.
How much will they cost? So that's the most expensive thing. And I look at this as the cost of going to the doctor one time and maybe getting a few supplements off one doctor visit. But this is something that you can use for your entire family and use it as many times as you want through the day.
So the connection, so as people have seen that it connects onto your wrists. So could you explain now? You've got a broadcast mode. Obviously, when all the wires are pulled, like you said, you put in your pocket. It's broadcasting a certain radius of influence. So, but then you've got it around your wrists. Can you connect it to other parts of your body, and why would you do that?
Okay, so great question. So we do also have the ability. It has electrodes, so you can actually take these things off and then connect it onto electrode stickers, for example. Okay. I've gotten kind of creative with these things, and I've put these 2 straps together when I'm treating my neck, because what's happening is it's going through one arm and it's connecting through on a positive, negative, and coming out the other wrist strap right there in this case. I've used it on my legs where I put it around my foot, and actually it's going all the way through one leg and out the other side right there, completing the feedback loop. We also have, so you've got those, and then you also have ear clips. So for some of the mental systems that we have right here, you'll attach it to your ears, and you can feel it. It's really an interesting feeling. You don't want to turn up too high at all, because you'll start seeing like flashing. If you've got your eyes closed, it's going to be like a fireworks show basically, or something, I would recommend keeping that very low, because the frequencies where you ideally want, you can turn up. Let me see, like, let's say, for example, if I'm rocking, if I go to, okay, so you can see I decided to just do bacteria right now. Okay, we all have bacteria. Okay, so maybe, okay, I haven't done bacteria for a while. I'm going to hit the start program. I'm just going to kind of show you. what's happening right now is this is actually sending via Bluetooth to my device. You can kind of see it going really bonkers right now because it's uploading the frequencies. And once it goes all the way across, this will say, okay, got the Bluetooth message right there. Okay. So we'll just give that a second.
Just uploading it to your device. Okay. And once it's done, it starts.
Maybe a little bit more than 10 seconds. It depends on the program.
A lot of people home right now using their phones, Ryan.
Yeah, people are concerned about right. So now we have the ability to turn up the sensitivity using the plus or minus.
Oh, got it.
So it starts off at 15% by default, but now, for example, I've got it at 65%, and I can feel the frequencies shooting through my wrists. In every single frequency is a different feeling. It's what's called a square wave frequency. And I see Pamela's asking if this is like Life Alert. Isn't Life Alert something that you, like if you fall over and help?
I thought it was I falling and I can't get up.
We don't have that feature yet. But stay
tuned. Keep you from falling over, so you don't have
still need your Life Alert, Pamela. No, just kidding. But what's interesting about this is, like, when people ask me what Healy is, I've got kind of a long run-on sentence here. I say it's the world's first frequency technology that connects via Bluetooth to your smartphone, that has an encrypted cloud storage also to it, and it uses artificial intelligence to read what frequency your body needs here. So just what I mean by that is, as this thing is playing this frequency for 10 seconds, it's never the same when you play these programs over again. Okay. Oh. It's going to sense what your body needs for the next frequency, and again that pertain to this specific thing. And then what will happen is it giving in 10-second increments here. It's going to once you have a full saturation of that frequency, it's not going to go back and play that frequency anymore. It's going to play the other frequencies that are part of that program instead.
Okay.
So it uses artificial intelligence, and that's pretty amazing. Beamer doesn't have that right there. Not to go down Beamer at all.
No, it's an older technology. It's just not where this is, obviously, and the portability. And yeah, I mean, and again, when are we ever really without these? And so it seems like a really intelligent marriage to have this connecting with that, with short little bursts of communication.
Right. And we have these stickers on our cell phones. You can see I have one underneath this whole little thing right here that protects us from our cell phones. Obviously, like frequencies around us all the time with the smart meter boxes to the Wi-Fi's. And so I just really feel that we need to do things in our power to bring healthy frequencies into our body, because frequency ties into so many different things out there in our bodies.
Ellen's asking, can you upgrade later? If you buy the $500 package, can you always bump it up?
Yeah, so the business model, okay.
Sorry, I missed that. Could you say it again?
What was that, Ellen? Sorry about that, Ellen.
He's going to talk for a while, okay,
Yeah, that was not Healy, that was Siri. But anyways, so I did not see myself getting into the business model of Healy. And it's interesting because there's a lot of people that who join Healy that they say that Healy found them. It just found them, and then they felt the obligation to share it with other people. And so there is a very lucrative aspect to how they have the business model set up with Healy. It is a network marketing opportunity, but the thing that's really different about this is, number one, a free member can get paid. So it's about half the commissions, which I think is really cool, because that allows the person over in the Philippines, for example, that lives off of $250 a month or whatever, to make a living by selling a device into maybe a richer, better off country that can more, whatever, with the power of the internet. So, but yes, you can upgrade at any time that you want. I really like that. And I like the fact that there's no reoccurring expenses or anything like this. It's not like where you have to, buy. I'm actually drinking a network marketing company water thing right here, right? A hydrogen water right here. I love network marketing opportunities. And it's really, I think it is, is brought about some great sciences, some great health products. There's no question about it, right? On a global scale. But this one is technology, and the world really has not seen this new technology yet.
No, I've not seen anything packaged in this way with this type of taking advantage of modern technology. I have not yet seen anything. I think it's why people have been asking so many things about Healy. It's so small, the device itself. It's not cumbersome at all, obviously. and then the fact that you can do all that connectivity with your smartphone. Yeah, that's pretty amazing. And I want you to share with the people that are watching this the stability of the company, because a lot of times companies pop up and then they go away.
Yeah.
And of capital to keep them going. You're looking at right now the world that everything is obviously in a standstill. Please let everybody know the shape of the Healy company financially.
Okay, so first of all, to answer Ellen's last question, she asked if I started with the $500 model. No, I came in all the way at the top, because when my friend was telling me, he's like, we're dealing with the pineal gland and the the forehead chakra and stuff like this. I was like, sign me up for that. I want to see what happens when you're actually using frequencies that deal with these the crown chakra and stuff like this. I was really wanted to really get all into that, and I like the fact that you get they call it the resonance analyst edition right there, where you can really determine what you want. So I wanted to go all the way in, and it just happened to be that I sold my old device after I purchased my Healy already. I ended up selling my PEMF mat for the same price that I bought my Healy for. So it's kind of meant to be.
Yeah.
So that's that. But I would, I'd encourage, it's to get one and try it. But then when you see all the different things that it can do, chances are that you're may want to upgrade more and more. So now on the company, it's really amazing. The history of this company, we'll talk about that also here, and the gentleman that came together to make this opportunity. So okay, so back for I think about going on 13, 15, a little over 13 years now, there's a parent company. I like the business opportunities where there's like a parent company who's like proven and financially sound, that's been around for a long time. And that company was Time Waver. Okay. Time, that's TIME Waver, WAVER. You can go there, maybe .com or something like that if you want to take a look at the parent company. But what I will say about that parent company is that Marcus Schmieke is the CEO, Marcus Schmieke. And this guy was a monk for 10 years. He's a really laid back Zen dude, business savvy. He goes in and kind of brainstorms and comes out of hiding. So he's kind of like the CEO, he really does a good job keeping balance in this fast-paced life, which I really admire in this day and age. And him wanting so badly to get this technology into the hands of the masses, because Time Waver's product, you're looking at about $15,000 to $30,000 for these large frequency devices. And there's a lot of metaphysical aspect to the devices as well. Quantum technology is built into these devices. We'll get into that later on. But Marcus, they have this castle over in Germany, and they would have these practitioners come to the castle, and they would train massive amounts of practitioners all around the world to use these frequency devices that they were making. Okay, so then what happened was, all of a sudden Marcus came together with this. It was one of his friends or something like this was part of this super hedge fund, this $15 billion super hedge fund. Okay, and so when the super hedge fund found out about Marcus's dream to get this in the hands of the masses, this gentleman, I forgot his name exactly, but he decided to put $100 million into this project. Okay, he saw that the future of technology was the wearable devices. Because look at what Fitbit, for example, sold to Google for billions of dollars, $4+ billion immediately. And so the wearable technologies, the applications obviously in the world are extremely important right now also. And so, so it's perfect timing. So this gentleman stepped in and decided to put $100 million into this project. They haven't burned through that kind of money, but the point is that it's very well financially backed. That's what he's obligated to. And then I saw, being an online marketer and knowing who certain people were in this space, watching them come on board with this is Dirk Zeman is his name, DIRC, ZIE Zeman, I believe his name is, from Germany. Very highly respected gentleman. He was the recent CEO that stepped down because we grew so exponentially here.
Right.
Okay. He decided to go more as he became the chief sales officer. I think it's CSO or something like that, chief sales officer or something like this. Not chief marketing officer, but so he's in the field more. And they hired another CEO to come in as well. but they're doing such a great job moving forward here. So my point is when you're looking at a company, or a product that you want to have that you can, if something goes wrong, that you can return. Obviously, you want something that has like strength, credibility, and it's not just something that's going to phase away and be outdated later on. And what I'll say as well is that there has been a lot of companies out there, Keith, that have tried. You look online, you see, well, there's the Muse meditation band that MUSC that you see advertised on Facebook and Instagram. You see another head thing come out, another $500 here that helps you sleep better. You see this other head thing that helps you perform better or learn faster or something like this. And so there's all these different devices out there, but really if we can apply all the frequencies, 300,000 frequencies, there's no other device that I know of that has that kind of, it's basically like a portable little Rife machine is what this thing is right here. Okay, if you guys haven't studied Rife, I'm sure a lot of your followers have.
A lot of them have, yeah.
Right? Oh. So there's this huge underground movement of people that have been aware of Rife's technologies and stuff for a long time. So my point is, I really feel that the focus needs to be on now what frequencies do what out there, and have all the people that are doing the studies out there help contribute that knowledge into our company, because we have the ability to put all those frequencies into our system, into our massive distribution thing. And another thing, Keith, as well, is that we have a medical cloud. This is really interesting, that we spend $1.5 million on. I believe it's quarterly. It's either, I'm pretty sure it's quarterly, $1.5 million to have our encrypted medical cloud that we have built into this thing, that you only have personally has access to. It's fully encrypted, which means that the company doesn't have access to the information when you upload your frequency results into the cloud. Okay, if you choose to do that, which you can on the Analyze app, and you can watch your frequencies change and see, okay, my frequencies last month were this compared to this.
You can map them, sure.
You can map them. So they are creating this huge medical cloud. And as we have that medical cloud built into this company, it's going to create value. They're talking about the value of Healy, because data is it's overtaken oil and the biggest commodity in the world, right?
That's right.
So that's really and we're part of that as business owners in Healy, which is hey, we all got to do something like for work, right? For work. So anyways, it feels good to really help people have improved health with this device.
I'm just really, when you told me how many other countries, and told all of us how many other countries are already doing this, already had access to the Healy, I was like, whoa, we're like way down the list, man. We're like the Johnny come latelys. This is pretty amazing that we were this far down. But that's probably was FDA, I imagine, giving their hoops to jump through.
For sure. And they see they know how much potential the USA has, because when you get the FDA, saying it's all good, then what you see is, excuse me here, you see Central, South America. My apologies. Can you see me okay?
Yeah, it's a little dirty. Okay? I can hear you fine. I can hear you.
Okay.
Oh,
there you go. My apologies.
Okay.
What I was saying is, once you have acceptance and we're out in the open with the FDA clearance and stuff like this, this is when you see Latin America, Mexico, all the way down to the tip of Brazil, come on, and Chile, all the way up to Canada and stuff like this. And then it spreads out from there. So yeah, 42 countries we're already involved in right now.
That's amazing. And how long has the Healy been launched? How long has that device been available?
I think it's been about 1.5 years now, but they really didn't open up anything. It was just they want to do things properly. To open up a company in 40-something countries in the first year.
That's crazy, man.
It's extremely.
That did not happen.
Yeah. It's like, gosh, even opening up a company and having success the first year in general is, but when you're talking about this, it shows they're really financial. They're just doing things proper. I think we got over 110 full-time employees at corporate Healy already, which is really strong also.
Yeah, it is. That's amazing. It's such a young company to have that many people working at headquarters and to have that many countries involved already. I don't know that I've ever heard of any company making that kind of a splash initially.
Well, looking forward, I love looking at businesses as a business person myself and understanding, getting involved in something in the very beginning. That's when people have a lot of success, obviously, so you can ride that wave for a long time. I see this thing with the other day, this is very kind of the company. I'll show you something. They actually came out. So the company has the ability, and the practitioners have the ability to send extra frequency things over to your, let's see, okay. Bioenergetic support.
Bioenergetic support. Okay.
So because I'm not saying this cures or prevents coronavirus or anything like this, but they came up with this special formulation for people, and they gave this to free to all the Healy people just as a gift. Said, okay, and they beam it over to your Healy. So you just do like an update, and now you have a whole nother frequency thing on there. So looks like Pamela asked a question: are we looking for investors in the U.S.? What we're looking for, Pamela, in this country right now is people that want to get this message out about the effects of frequency to the masses, and from a very, from our hearts, not from focusing on getting paid. And that's what I love so much about partaking in this opportunity. And it just brings so many great people into our lives. I'd love to meet you, Pamela, and Ellen, and everyone else on this call today. But we're not looking for investors. We're looking for people that would like to purchase a device. You can sign up for free. I encourage everyone to sign up for free in this, just because you have a position in the company, and then what you'll see is things will happen below you, and then you can decide later on if you would like to upgrade and actually purchase the device initially. It's all up to you. So I'd be glad to talk to anyone that's interested.
Yeah.
Okay. Keith, may I throw out my cell phone number so people
can put it out there? In fact, go ahead, throw it out there so I can put it up.
Thank you. If you want to put it up there, my cell phone, if you'd like to connect with me, is 206-396-9778. And you can reach me on WhatsApp right there, or else text is fine if you would just text me first. And I'd love to connect with you all. And my last name is spelled Conley. Look forward to connecting with everyone whose hands this falls into. And Keith, I just really appreciate you helping be the messenger and help bringing this technology out there. I know you've got a lot of great followers that you work with all the time. So
there's some really great folks who already are truly primed for bioenergetics. I mean, that's really where they are. And so that's why they brought it to me, Ryan. They were like, look, we're always looking for what's going on out there in this world of bioenergetics. We're hearing about this. What do you know? I mean, that's the reason they drove me to look for you ultimately. Well, so they're ready for new things breaking on the scene.
In the law of attraction, I know this video is going to fall into wonderful people's hands, the peoples that you've known for a long time. And just the coincidence that you are here in Washington State. I'm over in the Seattle Bellevue area here. And the hands that this is falling into is just, a lot of us have been dealing, because we're not even doing payouts until really starting this month. And so I've never seen people building a company without, even though the stuff's been tracked in the back office, I've never seen people build a company for 4 months or whatever it's been now without even getting paid. To me, that says a lot about the technology. So
people are obviously very impressed. And the website, I got to say, going to the website's very nice. I mean, they did a very nice job on the website. It's very aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, we could put my affiliate link just so people can create a free account.
Let me drop these.
I'll actually give that link to Keith to put in the video description. We won't write on the board, Keith. We'll just put it down in the video description when we upload it. Or actually, if you want me to, I can give it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So that let me read it to you real quickly here. www. Okay, and that is okay. Dot partner. Okay. Dot Healy World, HEALYWORLD.net / cryptoryan, which is CRYPTO.
Sorry about that.
CRYPTO. Ryan, RYAN.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And there may be an HTTPS, guys, before the www, so that isn't direct. You can take a look at that right there. Okay. You put the HTTPS in the beginning right there. If you, we're talking about here. So you could do that. Yeah, that looks about right. So I'd love to answer any questions that you have about that. I had one more thing to share with you also. We were just talking about people feeling things, having an experience, Keith. There you go. Thank you.
I'm here. I'm just making sure they can see the screen.
Right. So people having experience, Healy is something that you feel immediately when you do it. Like someone may go to an acupuncture place because they feel it. They feel the needle and the effects of that reset from getting an acupuncture session. Someone may go to a massage or whatever. But this is not like you're taking a supplement and over time you're having results. This is something that you feel the very first second that you put the Healy on, and all the frequencies having a different effect and a different feeling sensation in our bodies, which is really kind of interesting. So you can do this while you're working, while you're driving, while you're laying in bed, while you're watching television or reading a book. It's just very convenient like that.
Yeah, and the portability is amazing, and the connectivity is very amazing as well. I mean, I can tell because I've seen a lot of things out there that are supposed to work a certain way. They're supposed to have worked on technology, and when the rubber meets the road, it's clunky. It doesn't work very well ultimately, and you're disappointed. And so far, without having hands on the product, I can tell you it really appears that there's been. I'm sorry, I'm about to run out of juice again.
Sure.
It appears they've done a lot of great work on making everything look user-friendly and be user-friendly. I mean, like I said, I went on the website and looked at as much as I could. And then I've seen you work with yours too. And I got to say, yeah, I mean, I can tell they've really put their time and due diligence into making this really as smooth as possible.
And I've come across a lot of companies that they were trying to make something like this or something that was even close to this. And I truly don't see anything else out there in the market. Like, we may evolve and have something that's maybe, I don't know, I don't really have any complaints about this. It's just a small little tiny device, and I'm more focused on the results and, and what it does for people rather than the cosmetic of it. We can always do that, change it, whatever, but it's not really necessary.
A heart shape.
Yeah, you can have a heart shape one where over your heart, or maybe black and white one like an iPhone, right, or a rose gold or whatever. But yeah, gold plated one for the rich people. So,
this is 5,000 because it's made of gold.
Yeah, I got the gold one. Yeah, platinum. So, anyways, I'm really impressed with the company and looking forward to connecting with anyone that's interested in this space right here.
Yeah, Ryan's right here in Washington, and he's quick to respond. And yeah, I mean, and he's obviously a very, very, very nice guy. And he's got a big following. I follow him online, and he's got a lot of folks. When Ryan posts something, people they comment, they pay attention. So
yeah, thank you. I like to put my name on the best stuff out there, and I think that Healy is going to absolutely, once we open up the U.S., it's just going to go. It's going to, yeah. Tell
everybody one more time. When's it launching again?
It looks like, from what I heard, so right now, it's going to be May 1st is when it's going to officially launch in the United States. But again, grab a free spot in the company, and then we can talk more about it later on. So Thank you, Pamela and Ellen, and all of you that have come on, Judy, and everyone else that's watching this call, and Keith. Just looking forward to building more relationships in the future and helping get the word out there about frequency. I mean, Einstein and Tesla and, all these people, they said it was going to be the future of medicine, right?
And it's true. It really is. Yeah, absolutely. I will get this. I'll get this out there on Vimeo, and then get the link out to Ryan. I'll get it out online. I'll get it emailed to all of our members. I mean, it'll go everywhere. There's no limitation on how far this should go. So I will get on that as soon as this is done here in just a few seconds. I will be straight on that, getting it prepped and delivered to everybody.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Keith, for having me on today.
You're welcome. Thanks for doing this, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you,
everybody, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.